What's up, guys? It's your boy Sega Man back with another video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the Xbox Alpha podcast that we had on Sunday. Stay tuned. We'll probably be having uh, the Exile podcast coming up this Sunday with your host E-Rock, the Don King of Xbox, myself, Hebot, the most powerful gamer, DJ Tuckmaster, and of course, Unlimited Productions. Please check out those guys' channel. They do great content, man, when it comes to Xbox and gaming news. And also check out my brother 100 with Intro Media Gaming with my man Flip the Script, Flip Money, and the crew. You can check them out on Saturdays at 11:30 p.m. So, guys, I know you're really used to me doing uh, my podcasts and talking Xbox. But as you guys well know, I am also a collector. This video is going to be a little long today. I'm going to take you guys back in into gaming history of a certain console that I actually took the time to unhook and want to show you guys. This is a piece of gaming history as long as this console did last. It was a very expensive console back in the day, and it didn't last very long. But the guy that made the console, uh, you know, uh, he worked at EA, I believe. I can't remember his name right now, but he worked at EA. But he was part of developing and getting this console created. And it's a very expensive console today. It's really expensive to collect for, unless you find loose disc. But I'm going to show you this console in its entirety. And we're going to take a look at some games that were made for the system. At the time, it did compete with certain different old school systems, and it was considered to be uh, one of the top line games, like when it competed against like Sega CD, TurboGrafx CD, the CD consoles at the time. And it was very expensive. I believe back in the day to get one of these, it was $400 to $500, and maybe even 600. This was a long time ago. But today, guys, we are going to, and I'm also going to turn it on for you. I'm going to show you in its entirety the cosmetics of what it looks like, the controller, and the games. So the console I'm talking about today, guys, is the Panasonic 3DO. This is the Panasonic 3DO, guys, right here, in its entirety. Yeah, it's a little bit of a behemoth, right? But that's the Panasonic 3DO, guys, and this is what it looks like. Now, they had other ones. They had the Gold Star version of the Panasonic 3DO, and I can't remember what the other one was. I know the other one was definitely made by Gold Star. I believe it was Gold Star or something like that. Uh, they made different versions of the systems that can give you like for a cheaper price. But today, when you're collecting actually for these, this one is expensive, but it's probably the lesser one you're going to find cheaper than like the real rare ones like Gold Star. And I can't remember the other one. I don't know if it was JVC. It might have been JVC's Panasonic 3DO, or JVC 3DO. I can't remember, guys. But I know one of them was definitely Gold Star. But this is the original, and this is where it started. As you can see, I keep my 3DO in very, very good condition. I still sometimes play it today. On the top, it has the Panasonic logo, and it says on the top, Real 3DO Interactive Multiplayer. This could also play V movies, VCDs, which were movies on CD. And this is what the top actually looks like of the 3DO. Very good, excellent condition. It still works. It's really hard to find these systems today, guys, that actually work. Mine still works. I don't play it a whole lot. I played most of the games that I have for it. I've been collecting for this Panasonic 3DO for a very long time, over 10 years. You know what I mean? And I'm going to show you the box games that I got and collect for. That I went out and purchased. But there were also a lot of loose discs that I found at half price books that were really cheap, and they were just in a jewel case. They were like $5 a piece. Some were probably like $3 was the lowest. But they didn't have the box or artwork or anything. But being a collector, the games that I found in the jewel cases that were $5 at half price books about 5, 10 years ago are actually up there in this 50 to 60 to $70 range. Now I'm not going to show those today. I'm just going to show you the ones I have complete in box that I collect for. We're going to look at the cosmetics of the box, the artwork, and what shape it is, and how it is packaged. Now with this Panasonic 3DO, which was really cool because they were kind of ahead of their time. On the back of the system, you can put in audio video cables, but you can also put in a component called S-Video. S-Video separates the chrominous and the luminous on your TV, which would give you a better picture quality. And on the back of it, it also had an RF out. You could select the channel 3 or 4, and it had an expansion. I don't think the expansion actually came out for the 3DO because um, it fell to the wayside, and it went under due to different type of and like games, and I guess developing games for it. You know what I mean? It was a very expensive console. It wasn't really consumer friendly when it came to pricing. So it fell to the wayside just like the Atari Jaguar. But let's look at the back of the system, and you'll see on the back. I actually turned it on. I'll show you that in a minute. You'll see on the back right here, RF out. This right here is the S video, and this is the where you put in the cables for it. You know what I mean? Now that's what I use. I use the audio video cables to play it, on a TV today. I don't use the S video. I did use the S video at one time. I'm thinking about hooking this up here in my living room and putting it through S video and playing it again. But it was kind of ahead of its time when it came to picture quality with some of the games that they made for the system. They were better quality VMU games, um, way better quality than some of the Sega CD VMU games. You know what I mean? You could tell the quality between the 3DO and the Sega CD. Sega CD. That's why I believe that the system was also expensive because it really, really, really made a lot of interactive like video games. They were pretty much known for that, but they had other great games on there, which I owned Samurai Showdown on a 3DO. I just owned the disc, but it really came very close to the arcade version because it had Earthquake in it. And if you ever played Samurai Showdown, Earthquake actually, I believe he wasn't in the Sega CD version. He definitely wasn't in the Sega Genesis version. And I don't know if he was in the Super Nintendo version, I guess too much memory or making it for those systems because they were 16-bit. But this was way more powerful than those systems that were out, back then. But as you can see, yes, it looks like a VCR, or it kind of looks like an old school CD player that you would hook up to your receiver for, some of you guys are really young and probably don't even know what a receiver is, but that's what it looks like, you know. And very, very well preserved, this game system. So let's turn it on, and you can see here where you see a red button and a green button, right? This is the disc drawer where you can eject, and it opens up, closes back up. You hear a noise like it's trying to load, a game or a demo disc that would come with the system. If you listen very closely, you can hear the fan in it, the motor's going inside of it, firing itself up, warming itself up. But it's a very awesome system to collect for that I have today. Oh, it's almost as loud as that PS4. But it's very good old school system. that I still love and play today. So let's take a. This is the bottom of it. That's the bottom of it for you, so you guys can see just what the bottom looks like. It's not really much to look at. As far as I know, like there's things on it that that I think they were trying to make for like it, like the AV. Like it says the AV expansion. See, I think they had I think they had a lot that they wanted to do with the 3DO, but it fell to the wayside due to the game categories, and how expensive the system was. This system had a lot of potential. It really did, but it just didn't do very well for the consumers out there in the gaming market. I mean, a lot of people love their Sega Genesis and their Super Nintendos and their TurboGrafx 16. They really, honestly, back in the day, you would have to probably be rich to actually own one of these systems in the Atari Jaguar, because it was supposed to be like the Joel back then of the higher end consoles, like the Neo Geo, which was the coup de grace of paying expensive money for a system is definitely the Neo Geo, hands down. That system was, I believe, 800 to $1,000, and the games back then were $100 to $200 a piece. For one reason, it was the original arcade board put inside of a cartridge. And if I remember, the cartridges were about that big, bigger than a VCR tape, and you stick it in there. But you got the real arcade experience of the Neo Geo games that you would play at the arcade in your home. So that's why that system was very expensive. So let's look at the 3DO controller. Let's take a good look at this, okay? Now, if you notice on the front of which I didn't show you, let me show you real quick. On the front of the 3DO, okay, it only had one controller port. You're probably wondering, Sega Man, why did it only have one controller port? And you see it right there. See it? One controller port. Kind of reminds you of like a Sega Genesis port. It's the same shape as a Sega Genesis port that you would put inside of a Sega Genesis, right? So, the reason why they did that, it's kind of weird, and I'm going to show you and tell you why. This is the Panasonic original controller, 3DO controller, A, B, and C, and the directional pad. This is what it looks like, guys, right here. That's what it looks like. But if you wanted to play a two-player game on this, you can get and buy an extra controller, but you had to hook the controller into the controller right there in the back. The same port that you see on the system itself was built in to the controller. So I think they were, and then you got the left and right bumpers. I think what they were trying to do is they were just trying to be innovative. They were just trying to be innovative. Yeah, it's kind of weird to, be playing a game with your friend and his controller is hooked up through your controller. I don't know if I think they were just trying to be different, trying to be more innovative, trying to find different ways to implement controllers and stuff like that. That's what I think they were trying to do. In my opinion, that was not a good idea. They should have just put another port on the Panasonic 3DO, which would have been fine. But like I said, I think they were just trying different things. And what's really also cool about this is it has a headphone jack built in right here. And it has actually a volume up and down right here. So you could play your music CDs in here, put on a nice pair of headsets, and rock out to your favorite music, or watch, like I said, I think they're called video movies, VCDs, which you can play inside the Panasonic um, 3DO. Okay, and actually, listening to music through this is actually pretty good. The sound quality is very, very awesome. They did a good job with that. You know what I mean? They really did. So, and it has like on the top, stop, play, and pause. Just like some of the other controllers would have. And then you see here on the cord, it looks just almost exactly like a Sega Genesis port or an Atari Jaguar or Atari game port, controller. So that's what it looks like. that came with it. A quick story. I actually found this from somebody in New York on eBay a long time ago. He sent the system to me very cheap. I was wondering why he did. I was figuring it might have been broke. I believe I paid $40 for the system, the controller, you know. So when I got the system, then we're going to get into the games. So when I got the system, I plugged the system and I couldn't wait to play Samurai Showdown because I bought that game at the exchange a long time ago just to buy it to say one day I'll probably own a 3DO. And the CD that case jewel case it came in with Samurai Showdown was only $5 because it didn't have no artwork, it didn't have no box with it or anything. It was $5 because it was just a game in a regular CD jewel case, right? And I kept that for years. And then years later, I got the 3DO. But what this guy did was wrong to me. And you know what he did? He sent me the 3DO and I plugged it in, right? I turned it on and the disc drawer wouldn't open. And I'm like, oh shit, I just paid 40 something dollars for this thing and it's broken. It wouldn't open up at all. It wouldn't open up. So I'm thinking he thought he'd been had me, you know what I mean, that he duped me, right? So what he didn't know is I can break down things and put them back together. You know, I know how to, you know, fix some electronics. So I took the 3DO apart. I took the shell casing off, and there was a game stuck in there, Need for Speed. And that was it. All I had to do was open up the top of the 3DO, carefully take the game out, put it back together, and it works like a dream. So the guy who owned this probably didn't want to take the time to even do that. He just think he can make a quick buck off it and think he can get over somebody by sending them a broke 3DO, I guess. I don't know. But to his demise, he didn't duke me. And the Need for Speed game that was in there was pretty beat up, pretty messed up. It looks like he kept trying to mess with it and he scratched the game up by, I guess, trying to get it out or whatever. So I threw that away. But that's my little story about how I purchased my 3DO. Now let's take a look at some of the games that came out for the 3DO. And the first one I'm going to show you, which is a really cool game, you know, for back in the day by 3DO Studios, and it says the future of flight, the future of fire power. So this was actually a pretty decent game, you know, like a shooter. You know, it's pretty cool. Kind of reminds you of a real, like a futuristic afterburner, you know, or something like that. And it is called Starfighter by 3DO Studios, and this is what the box looks like. Now the boxes were fairly made pretty cheap, you know. Through time, they're going to get bends and and get scraped and everything. But I found these games mostly at half price books. This was $8. Okay, so let's open it up real quick. I'm only going to open one because I have a few games I want to show you, or two, but I don't want the video to go super duper long. So let's just open the cardboard version of Starfighter up. This is the back of it. It gives you a little bit of detail about the game. It shows you some of the graphics in the game. Yeah, I mean, which was, to be honest, in my opinion, pretty awesome back in the day. You got to remember, this was a long time ago, you know. And when we played games back then, when we would see something new, like the 3DO system with better graphics than what you're playing on a 16-bit, we were very excited. So this is actually Starfighter for the 3DO. It comes in a little jewel case like this. Okay, very pristine condition. I take very good care of my games. And this is the game right here inside with the booklet. You know what I mean? So the booklet has, it's no bends, no nothing. It came like this. That's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? But that's an idea, you guys, of what this version of the game that would come in this case look like. You know, and actually on it says BRE software. Use cartridges, buy back. So this must have been a company out of San Francisco, California, back in the day that had this in their store. So that's pretty awesome. And it did come with the book, I believe. It came with the book. You know, putting these back in, you have to be careful because this stuff was held in the cardboard, you know, and the lips that are the lip on here, you know, some of the times, you know, they're going to wear and tear, you know, in the future. Now, what's really cool about this that I like about this is it came with everything in the box. Came with everything in the box, which is pretty awesome. It's hard to find these very complete like that. Like a 3DO club, you know, where you can join the 3DO club. What do you get by joining the 3DO club? So, you know, it's a little pamphlet here that you can fill out. Check it out. You know, got a young looking Phil Spencer jumping up and down there. You know what I mean? But that's what it looks like, the registration card. And it's cool and it adds more ambiance and more excitingness to when you want to collect for old school OG video game systems when it comes complete like that. It even had a direct number that you can call. Check this out. You can actually call them, you know, which was pretty awesome. And it shows you, you know, the game, some of the games that they were coming out with on the other side. Like you could see Doom in one of the pictures. You know, a few games that were coming out for the system back then. I don't know if you guys can see that very well because of my hands, but those are some of the games that they were making for the system. And here it has it like it has a direct where you can give them a call. This is actually 3DO Direct, and it shows Phil Young there holding a lot of games. You know, advertising. You know, they put a lot of advertisement in with these games. You know what I mean? Which was really cool. You know, it tells you like the 3DO sampler, volume one, volume two. So it's just giving you a catalog of games and stuff that they had available for the system in regular black and white. You know what I mean? The you know, the catalog is in very great condition. It's really hard to find these games today, guys, complete like that. And then you got another one, limited day warranty that was in it. So whoever had this really took care of the game. You know, play to win. You know, game secrets, game secret book two. You know, tips. You know, and stuff, strategy guides, stuff like that that you can also get that came inside there. You know what I mean? So that's just giving you a glimpse of what that looked like inside that. Okay, so the next game we're going to move into. This was actually pretty cool. All you guys, when you see this, um, casing for this game, you're going to know what I'm talking about. They did a fantastic job with this. This game was, I think, aimed towards kids. You know, EA. It was called EA Kids. Okay, and this is really cool. I picked this up complete in the box for $5 at half price books. Okay, and it is a rare. It's rare for the 3DO. I've only seen it at my half price books. I've never seen it at the exchange or anywhere else. You could probably get it online. It's probably going to be a little bit expensive. I'm not sure. I got to do my research on it. And it is called, and we all grew up with this. It's called Sesame Street Numbers. Sesame Street Numbers. Now, what's really cool about the Sesame Street Numbers is it has actual video from the old school Sesame Street in here. When you do certain tasks, you'll see the count come out. You know, 100 and peanut butter jelly sandwiches. You know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That you remember back in the old school days when you would sit in front of your TV and watch Sesame Street and have your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with some cherry Kool-Aid. That's taking it way back. You know what I mean? But it was fun. Everybody watched Sesame Street, Electric Company, you know, shows like that back on WQED. But they did a really great job with this, man. I was very impressed by this. I actually went through it and watched all the little count things and stuff. It was just very impressive what they did with this EA Kids game. It was very awesome, man. I was very pleased to have this, and I'm glad to own it. You know what I mean? And this is what the the original casing for these 3DO games look like. That's exactly what it looked like, what you see right in there. You know, it has a little. I don't know why they did that. I guess to keep it in a shape. There's the game right there. Gives you details about the game and different things like that. You know what I mean? So it was very awesome. Now, like I said, the wear and tear, like this one, doesn't snap and close. You know what I mean? So they're supposed to actually snap and close. But like I said, it's the wear and tear on these games, man. But it's very cool. I'll show you the back of it. It's very, very cool. And it's actually good if you have a 3DO and you have a young child in the house. You can put this on for them and show them Sesame Street numbers. And it would be something that they probably would really enjoy at a very, very young age and will always remember. I showed my kids this and, they thought it was kind of cool. You know what I mean? So the next one we have here is it's a really cool, awesome VMU game, Electronic Arts. It is called Psycho Detective. Now, this is in very great condition. This one actually opens up and it has the jewel case inside. Very weird game. And if you look on the back, the video quality of these games, guys, was really good on a 3DO. I have to say, it did beat the Sega CD. It honestly did. And I'm a Sega fan. But when it came to these VMU games, it beat them hands down. I mean, now not saying that the Sega CD didn't have some good ones, but a lot of the ones that you would see on the Sega CD were grainy. They were kind of grainy, but when you watch them on a 3DO, they weren't grainy. You might get some that might have been a little bit grainy, but these were like DVD almost quality when you were playing these on a 3DO. So it's really awesome. They did a great job on this. Now, this game has probably became expensive if you want to buy it in the case. You know what I mean? Like I said, I found most of mine at half price books from $5 to $8 in the case. So let's take a look at that. Very good condition. Now they put them in a box like this. You know what I mean? There's really not much to look at, but it has this one, this two. It's actually the game right there. That's the back of it. So it had a few discs with like playing the movie and then about the movie. You know, so it's actually pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it came in. You got a little advertisement thing that's inside here. It's not really much to look at. You know what I mean? But it says available Psycho Detective, the music source. You can call or whatever. With that. But as you can see, one thing that it didn't come with, and I don't know if it was supposed to, it didn't come with a instruction booklet. Now I'm not sure if it was supposed to. Probably was supposed to. So that might have been one of the reasons why the game was cheap at the time. But that is Psycho Detectives, all right? Another great game I actually found for $10 there, which is one of the best versions ever of this game. A lot of people love this game on the Sega Dreamcast. Not the Sega Dreamcast, the Sega Genesis, the Sega. I think it came out on the Sega Saturn, also on Sega CD, I believe. And that is Road Rash by Electronic Arts. Very funny, very comical slapstick comedy in Road Rash. Road Rash is a really awesome game. Some people say the 3DO version is the best version. I would have to agree. The 3DO version is probably the best version of Road Rash. It's very, really cool, very cool, quirky cutscenes that'll make you laugh. But Road Rash is a very awesome, very old school retro game that was pretty fun. Kind of like I don't know, kind of like Grand Theft Auto on motorcycles. You know, put it that way. You know what I mean? So this is in its entirety. Now this box here, whoever owned this probably played this a lot because it has a little bit of wear and tear in it. But it comes like this. It has an advertisement of Shockwave in there, and it shows you the game and Shockwave, which was another game that came out for the 3DO. As you can see, there's some wear and tear right there. So whoever owned this game, they must have played it a lot. You know what I mean? And I guess for them making these kind of this one snapped and closed. Making these kind of casings for these games really doesn't hold up. You know what I mean? Through time, because these games are really really old. And as you can see, this actually came out in 1993, guys. So if you can actually see, the price tag is still on there where it says $10. I did not take it off because I can probably ruin the artwork. And on the back, it gives you a little bit of detail about Road Rash on the 3DO. It is the better versions of the Road Rash. Some people say the Sega Saturn one is pretty good, but everybody always liked the 3D version of Road Rash. Now, like I said, a lot of these games have went up in price, but one game I did get that is actually pretty cool was a popular sci-fi movie that was out back in the day with two great actors. That is Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes in Demolition Man. Demolition Man came out on the 3DO. Very great cover and artwork of my boy Wesley Snipes and your boy Sylvester Stallone. Now, you can also buy this game on Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, I believe. And I believe I do own the one on the Sega Genesis too. But this is more of an interactive, really cool, futuristic type version of Demolition Man. There's fight scenes where you'll come up and it's a 2D fighter and you're fighting Wesley Snipes and you have to knock him down. You know what I mean? Kind of like a Mortal Kombat uh, seasoning in this game, amongst other things that you have to do in it. Now, the video quality of this game is spot on. It's perfect with, Stallone and Wesley Snipes. They did an awesome job in this. This is the back of it, if you can see it. Due to my lighting, you probably can't see it as well. But I'll try to focus there a little bit. It's another one that was in a cardboard casing, and this one actually came with the book. And it says video game exchange. Now this one I think I did get from the game exchange for about $5 a long time ago. But you don't want to remove the sticker that's on there. It's unfortunate that it's on there, but if you do, you can ruin the game. So don't even try to remove it if you find these. And there's the demolition instruction manual right there with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester on there. So that's another great one to get if you ever someday own a Panasonic 3DO or a 3DO in general. Now, another one we got here, which is a great game that is still being made today, guys. Still being made today. They make great games from EA. It is the Need for Speed. Need for Speed on a 3DO. I think they made did they make Need for Speed for, I don't know if they made it. I don't know if it was for Genesis. I can't remember. But this is the Need for Speed version on the 3DO. There's a Need for Speed version, I believe, also on a PlayStation. Some people actually prefer the Need for Speed on the 3DO better than the PlayStation. But that's remained to be seen by me. You know what I mean? I kind of think they're both okay. You know what I mean? But the 3DO had their version of it because it's from EA. Now, this is from Half Price Books. And I remember paying about $8 for this. Very good, pristine condition. Not really that many flaws and tears on the game. I got to break it down, guys. When you're a collector, you have to break it down. That's why some of the collector videos are long. Comes off very well. It has advertisements in there. It shows you FIFA Soccer that's coming out later. This is the book that comes with perfect condition. You know what I mean? And then it just shows you the little advertisement in there. FIFA Soccer, and then there's the game right there, guys. Very good condition, and this one is a good one because it actually snaps back together, which is awesome. It is in very good condition. It is not ripped, and it snaps right back in place there. And then you can see some of the graphics of Need for Speed for the 3DO, guys. Now the next one we got came out for the Sega CD, and I believe this also came out for the Sega Saturn, I believe. It is called Supreme Warrior. Supreme Warrior. This is a funny, cheesy, interactive like fighting game where you just see your fists and you're fighting, hitting the characters. You know what I mean? But it was a really innovative game back then. You got to remember, they were just trying all different types of ideas back in the day with Sega and these companies to make game more interesting and more fun and futuristic. So that's what they were going for. You know what I mean? So this is Supreme Warrior, and the 3DO version is not bad. It's actually pretty decent. This is made by Digital Pictures. They were known for making most of the VMU games, And it has the little digital pictures, little advertisement in there. This one's a little different. This one came in paper cases. You get 2 discs right here. Then it says digital pictures on here, and then there's the book. So that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I think this was also on the 32X. But it came in there, and you just slip it back in here, and that's it, guys. You know what I mean? It's one of those paper ones that were actually made a little bit more cardboardish, made a little bit better than some of them. But that's Supreme Warrior. On the back, if you can see it without my lighting, you can see some of the, some of the scenes in the game. So that is Supreme Warrior. All right. Oh, I gotta put that back in. Was that digital pictures? Yeah, let me put that back in. That back in here. All right. All right. So the next one here actually went up in price, made by Electronic Arts. It's a really cool, kind of a funny, kind of a horror game. It's Escape from Monster Manor. Now, I looked up the price of this one time. It was $85. I found it for $10 at Half Price Books. Very good condition. Snaps back perfectly. You know what I mean? It's a really awesome game. They should re-implement this game and bring it out to the Series X and these new consoles that we have. You know what I mean? It's pretty decent. It's different. It's really different. It shows the cast and crew inside here. If you could see the picture, I believe they were in the game. Probably some of the developers are right there. And then here's the game itself. You know what I mean? Monster Manor. It's pretty fun. I played it for a while. You know what I mean? It's really cool. It had really good graphics. For back then. You can see some of the graphics right here. But that is Monster Manor, guys, for the Panasonic 3DO. If you can see that, guys, with my lighting. Another great game. Then they came out with another one called Shockwave 2. There's a Shockwave 1. Now, this one, as you heard inside there, you probably heard the disc in there. But these were really cool games back then. A lot of people didn't really like some of these games. I like them because they were different. Has some good VMU cutscenes that were in there. But this is Shockwave 2. It was pretty decent in my opinion. This comes with the 2 games inside there. Beyond the Gates, 2 games that are inside there. It's pretty awesome. This was $5, I believe. This was $5, but it's not a bad game. You know what I mean? It's not a bad game. And it is Electronic Arts. So that's another game to pick up. Now this one here is getting kind of filled here. Off-Road Interceptor. You could find these games fairly cheap without the casing for like maybe $2-3. Interceptor with the case was made by Crystal Dynamics. Sound familiar? Who makes Crystal Dynamics? What famous game do they make? Would that be Tomb Raider? So this is probably one of their first games, which was Off-World Interceptor, which was a really cool futuristic type shooter racing game or road game. You know what I mean? And it has some VMU cutscenes in it. You know what I mean? And as you see on the back, shows some of the graphics, some of the cutscenes right here. But it's a good game to buy, guys, on the cheap. You might be able to find these games loose disc for roughly $5 to $10 in a jewel case. So that's another one to try out. Now this one here was actually on the Sega CD. This is called Mad Dog McCurdy. They have a Mad Dog McCurdy too. I meant to get it and never did. It's 1 or 2 player. This is another great game that came out for the 3DO. Very good VMU cutscenes in this, man. And interactive gaming in this. Very good. I tried it out. It's pretty decent. Really awesome. You know what I mean? They did a pretty good job with this game. You know what I mean? And this comes with, the art book, and stuff like that in the game. And it also shows you the other ones called, like Mad Dog is actually in here. And it shows you the other ones that came out for it too. Inside of here. Some of these games that you see on the side here, I actually own them, but they're only in jewel cases. You know what I mean? Like a few of these in here. But it gives you the advertisement of games that they were going to bring out for the system. So they did a really good job presentation, when it comes to, when it comes to showing what games were coming out for it, advertising. That's the back of it there, if you guys can see that very well. That's what it looks like in the game, guys. What you're seeing here, that's what it looks like in the game when you're playing the 3DO on your TV, man. So that's just to give you, an idea. Now we got two left. Yes, this this video is over 40 minutes. Over 40 minutes, but when you're breaking down a great system like this, you need to do this and show your audience in detail of the system you're collecting for, OG system, and the games. This is actually for $2 now on Xbox Live Marketplace. It's a new version of Tactics game that came out, but this is Space Hunk. Space Hunk from Electronic Arts, Vengeance of the Blood Angel. This is a pretty decent game. Found that for $7 at my half price books. That is Space Hunk for Electronic Arts. It comes with the booklet, which is in black and white. Perfect condition, I must say. Couple advertisements here that came with it. Then inside here it has a game called Syndicate, which was really a very awesome game back then. People liked it, Syndicate, for the 3DO. And then there's the game right there. I believe Syndicate came out for the Sega CD too. But that's it right there, guys, in its entirety. Now the next one we have here is expensive because I looked it up. I seen it for I think it was like $85, $90. Let me get this stuff back in here right, man, real quick. But some of it you gotta actually put this stuff in here right. Here we go. This game, my last game, is called Way of the Warrior. Way of the Warrior is very expensive right now. I've seen it for $85. I found mine at half price books for, I think it was around $10, if I remember correctly. $10, $11, if I remember correctly. This is a game that was trying to be like Mortal Kombat. All right? The art style and cover is pretty goddamn awesome. I like it. You know what I mean? But it's a very cheesy version of their Mortal Kombat, you might as well say. Some people actually like this very much. I like it. I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? It has fatalities that are in it. Came with a little sponge like it would get in the Sega Saturn games. The little book that's right here, Way of the Warrior, and it has a really cool looking CD that's in there. You know what I mean? So, and I'll show you the back because I actually did this fatality. If you knock them into the lava, and you'll see on here, they have different characters that are digitized. They did their best. You know what I mean? It's cheesy, but it's a cheesy good. If you see that right there, that's actually in the game. When you knock your opponent into the lava or whatever it is, acid pool or whatever, they actually come up on the screen and touch the screen like that with their eyeball falling out and blood dripping down the screen. So they were being innovative and they were trying to make their own, Mortal Kombat, guys. And it's very expensive right now. You could probably find a loose disc for cheaper. But yes, this is pretty decent, cheesy fighting game. Some people say it's really bad, but it's a bad that's good, in my opinion. So that is Way of the Warrior. And that is it for today, guys. Going back down memory lane of one of the systems that I collect for, which is the 3DO. Now, like I said, I have a lot more. I have a lot more that are in jewel cases. This would be over an hour, way over an hour if I was to show you that and explain all those games to you guys. But if you want to get into collecting for the 3DO, guys, do your homework and your research because a lot of these games today, or systems really, a lot of them don't work, They don't. A lot of them don't work, you know what I mean? Or they're on the brink of not working. I'm actually going to hook this up into my living room today and play it later on in the week. But that is my version, guys, of the Panasonic 3DO that your boy Sega Man collects for. I'm an OG out here in these streets, man, and I love OG collecting video games. I like to preserve gaming. I'm part of that culture and family. I'm part of that, and I've been part of that for years. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Thanks, guys, for subscribing to me. Share the video, please. I'm not asking you to subscribe. If you want to subscribe to me, it's very well appreciated. You know what I mean? And I really, really do thank you for that. And I'm humbled. You know what I mean? My brothers are climbing up there in subscriptions, and I'm happy for them. He bought E-Rock and Unlimited. Very happy for my brothers, man. You know what I mean? So if you want to subscribe, I really appreciate that. You guys know that. Big shouts out to all the Sega fans out there and all the Xbox fans, you know. Shouts out to the Alpha Brothers and everybody out there, the Xbox Alpha Brothers, man, for rocking out and being part of your boy Sega Man's channel. I really appreciate it. So you guys have a great day, all right? Enjoy the rest of the week, guys. Happy gaming, happy hunting for games that you want to collect for, and maybe want to try to collect in systems. You can find deals out there, guys. You just have to do your research, man, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you start becoming a collector of retro systems, guys, because you can find some of that stuff out there on the cheap. You know what I mean? So salute to you guys. Hats off to everybody, man. Have a great week. And I will see you this weekend with the Xbox Alpha podcast and possibly the Exile podcast. All right. Peace and love, guys. Xbox for life. We don't die. We multiply. Peace. And you know what I always say. On the Xbox side, we're always eating good over here, man. All right. Congratulations, Phil. Peace.